So a few days ago, Bernie did a town hall on Fox News in a factory town in Pennsylvania. We already went through a bunch of the clips of it where he's talking, but what I want to do is show you a compilation of the shitty questions asked by the Fox hosts. Watch.
Taxes do show that you're a millionaire. You did make $1 million in 2016, 2017. You're right, the 561 in 2018. But your marginal tax rate was 26% because of President Trump's tax cuts. So why not say, you know, I'm leading this revolution. I'm not going to take those.
All right, so 52%. So would you be willing to pay 52% on the money that you made?
Also,
you can volunteer. You can send a check.
Well, you can volunteer, too. We have a...
But you suggested that that's what everybody in your bracket should do.
But I just want to, back on the taxes briefly, you know, when you wrote the book and you made the money,
Yeah.
isn't that the definition of capitalism, the American dream?
What do you say to those who have raised the question of whether or not you would be too old at 79 as president? About Vermont, because Vermont tried to have a single-payer program, and in 2014, the Democratic governor abandoned it because he had to raise income taxes, had to raise payroll taxes, and the people of Vermont didn't want their taxes to go up.
No, it's not quite true.
And they abandoned the program. So if you work in Vermont,
internal.
so you just saw in Peter Ducey's package there, people saying that they think the economy is doing pretty well here. So in Pennsylvania, you've got unemployment is down over the past couple of years. Wages are up 6.6%. So how do you convince those people in this area who I know you'd like to win over this time around that they should, you know, sort of change horses and go with you when things are going well?
We have a shot of the current national debt clock. It stands at more than $22 trillion tonight, and as we're talking here, it is ticking up. You've talked about ways to pay for your plans, but there is a lot of doubt that your plans might actually speed up that clock dramatically. So when you look at that, do you not care about that anymore?
I think you're asking the wrong guy. Maybe it's the president you might want to ask.
Yeah, it was just, that was horrendous. They did such a bad job. The questions, you're a millionaire. Why won't you just like willingly pay more in taxes? The whole idea would be to collect enough revenue to then have programs that give people equal opportunity. So you raise taxes and then you take that money and you give universal college. You raise taxes on the rich and you take that money and you put it towards our Medicare for All system. You raise taxes on the rich and you take that money and you set up a paid maternity leave program. Like, the whole idea is to have a reasonable system, and you do that by collecting tax revenue and raising taxes on the right people. And their dumbass response is, well, just willingly pay more yourself and that's just you. Why not? The fuck is wrong with you guys? So they said that once and they said it again. Will you volunteer to pay more taxes? I mean, they think it's a gotcha. It's not even close to a gotcha. It's so fucking stupid. And then, isn't selling your book the American dream? What? Like what? Do you think Bernie Sanders in his platform is like, I shall ban the sale of books? Like, what are you saying? Or what? Are you implying that because that's the American dream and he sold his book and he made money, that like that's a viable path for everybody else in the country? Because he's a senator. Not everybody's going to get to be senator. Like, I don't understand. Like, what exactly is your point there? I know you're trying to do a gotcha, but your gotcha is just damn near incoherent. And also, he made over $1 million in 1 or 2 years because of his books, and he would raise his own taxes. So there's no gotcha here. What are you saying? Isn't that the American dream by making $1 million from selling a book? Bernie wants to give everybody equal opportunity. Full stop. The rest is noise. You're just trying to play stupid gotcha games. Then, of course, they hit him with, aren't you too old? Okay, Donald Trump is almost the same age as Bernie Sanders. He's close to the same age as Bernie Sanders. They're both in their 70s. Bernie Sanders exercises all the time, and he's a healthy weight. Donald Trump is about to have a Wendy's overdose. Now, I'm not hating. I love Wendy's. But let's be serious here. If you have somebody who's, 72, Trump is, and Bernie's 77, you have an unhealthy 72-year-old and a healthy 77-year-old, I call that a wash. I call it a wash. And some people might even say I'm being unfair, that the healthy 77-year-old is actually in a much better situation. Okay, fair enough. But why are you asking that question? It's just so hacky. And Bernie goes on, he gives a good answer. You didn't see it there, but he goes on to say, forget all that. Follow me on the campaign trail, number one, to see how, the shape I'm in, because you'd be impressed if you followed me on the campaign trail. But also, age is irrelevant. You should care about the ideas and the policies, which is 100% correct. And then he says, and then they say, oh, single payer didn't work in Vermont. If it doesn't work in Vermont, then why do you think it'll work in the U.S.? Well, single payer works in every other developed country, so that's why, because it works everywhere. And the reason why it doesn't work in Vermont is not the reason you're giving. The reason why it didn't work in Vermont is because of immense pressure from the healthcare industry and the health insurance industry. So what a massively misleading question, but again, they don't know shit because they're just trying to do gotchas. And then my favorite is, isn't the economy wonderful? Like, they cherry pick data about a very specific thing, and then they're like, see, isn't the economy great? No, it's not. Real wages are falling 1%. Over half of American workers make $30,000 a year or less. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Corporate profits are soaring, but average people are not feeling the benefits of that. That's all going to the top 1%. So no. The answer is no. The economy's not doing great. Over 90,000 jobs were outsourced in Trump's first year in office. This is ridiculous. You're doing misleading statistics on purpose. So that's the thing, is that they're not honest actors. But it was still a good thing that Bernie went on, because he kicked their ass up and down the fucking show. So that was fun to watch. And then finally, why, sir, do you not seem to care about the national debt? Dude, Bernie's answer, I kept Bernie's answer in there on purpose because he's right. Like, you're asking me? It's fucking President Adderall dipshit, who you guys love, who just added over $1 trillion to the debt because he wanted to give a giant tax cut to the rich and multinational corporations. Why are you asking me? Don't ask me. Ask him. He's the one who debt fear-mongered all the time before he was president. Now he's president and he's adding to it willy-nilly. He doesn't give a fuck. Why are you asking me? I never was a debt fear-monger. And by the way, Bernie actually has plenty of stuff he could point to where he says, I would make cuts in certain areas that would have us save money, like massively cutting the military budget. He voted against Trump's increase in the military budget. Trump increased the military budget massively. It was already massive and bloated, and Trump increased it more. Bernie voted against it. Those would be massive savings to the government. So are there things where Bernie would save money? Yeah. No more Wall Street bailouts, no more corporate welfare, no more bloated military budgets. So, yeah, there's plenty of areas where he would save money. So you're just asking the wrong guy. Also, Bernie would raise more revenue through, like, Wall Street transaction tax, for example, increasing the top marginal tax rate. Bernie would be much more fiscally sound than Donald Trump. And honestly, to the chagrin of many MMT folks who might look at Bernie and say, you don't even need to cut back that much on certain areas. But if there's stuff that should be cut, why not? Just cut it. So you're asking the wrong person, 100%. You should be asking Donald Trump, because Bernie never was a debt fearmonger. And even if he was, there's plenty of stuff he would cut. Stupid shit. So Fox News is a joke. Everybody knows it. But when you see the questions spliced back to back like that, you really get a sense of it. That they're in over their head. These hosts don't know what they're doing. And that's the point, is they're playing gotcha. That's the whole point, which is why corporate media sucks and everybody hates them, whether it's Fox News, MSNBC, or CNN. And new media is where it's at.